What about a dude named Battle Truth? You ever heard of him?
Battle Truth. I think Battle Truth, he tells it from his perspective. I've seen some of his stuff. I'm not familiar with all of it. But I
That
think
nigga's funny.
He's funny. I think in the beginning, because I remember when I first started seeing him, he tried to have this judge theme, and I think he realized just being straight up was the best thing for him. You know, what
He's
I mean?
himself.
You know what I mean?
But
this up. Okay, Battle Truth on YouTube. You are one of my official go-to sources. As you know, I'm still involved in battle rap behind the scenes.
Nah. But he's hilarious. Battle Truth.
He's wild hilarious. He's also got his own thing. You feel what I'm saying?
He's mad funny.
You know what I mean? So
but
like
with him though, another thing with him, like, and I'm not talking bad about him. I respect him. I like him. I watch his channel. I watch
like
him.
a judge and shit.
Yeah, I go to his channel. I can say myself before I go to anything else.
You go to Battle Truth first?
I go to Battle Truth first. I'm being honest.
That's crazy.
I want to see what he talk about, how he's saying it. But
where's my damn gavel at? Dang it. Hold on. Here! Take it! Take it! Bang the gavel on your damn self. Don't worry. I'll do it for you. No, man. Get up out of here with that trash, man. No, man.
One thing I respect about Battle Truth, and I will say this, when I got locked up, he said I was guilty. When I was in jail a year, he said I was guilty. When I was in jail 2 years, he said I was guilty. When he heard I was coming out, he said I was guilty. When I got out, he said I was guilty. And even right now, he said he kept the same energy.
What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. Brother Polight accepted his plea deal and he was sentenced today in state prison. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison, 10 years parole as a result of child molestation. This dude raped his girlfriend's underage daughter. He drugged her up and took advantage of her. That little girl was going to die if he didn't. This man had to stick his hands down her throat. He had to stick his hand down her throat to make her vomit up the date rape drug he had gave this little girl while he was taking advantage of her because she was unresponsive. She would have died in that hotel room if he didn't do that after he was done taking advantage of her. That's crazy. And I told people this. This dude was one of the well-respected influencers in the conscience community. They was all hovering around him because he had money and connection with celebrities. This man was bragging about having 4 wives. He had a campaign going on. He had a smear campaign of going against God and saying F Jesus. Anytime that happened, I already knew what was going on because there's no way you can do that without them demons actually being the ones actually behind your campaign. Like so many, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. When you have people going up against Jesus Christ, no matter what they say, those are not decent men. Those are not respectable men. Those are not honorable men. Those are wicked, evil, demonic men and women who does that. Because anytime you can hate the one who loved, made, and created you, who died on the cross for your sins that you know you do every day, and you despise that, mock that, spit on that, reject that, knowing you are a sinner, knowing this, no one can deny that. That is an evil person, a person who can't be trusted. Even when some people claim to trust and believe in that, you know you can barely trust them neither. But it's even worse when you got people who actually go against it and despise it, knowing they sinful life, past and present. Let's just be honest. And that man had made that his business. His whole career was built off going against God. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that he was raping and molesting them young girls. This just God exposing him, while at the same time shaming the conscious community and anybody else who actually goes against him to show the real horrors that takes place behind the scenes till he take the light off of it. And Sinetta, you just as wicked and evil and corrupted as him, because he was with him the whole way, trying to capitalize off him financially and everything, protecting him through this whole ordeal, only now trying to act like an enemy towards him since he's gone now. And you're going to say anything now. You're going to really tear him down now since he ain't around no more, since he now been taken into custody, and since he now been locked up. So you really finna go in now to act like you don't approve of that stuff. That's dirty what he did and all that. But before he was locked up, you was all for it. You actually tried to do a whole, remember he tried to do the money thing about the whole situation and thought that Brother Polight was going to allow him to make all the money off of it. And he was trying to tell people that Brother Polight was a stand-up, honorable man, and let him tell y'all what really happened. Believe this brother, because he wanted the money and everything. And he would use Brother Polight on his platform because that's where he would get the most views at. Those are some dirty, evil, wicked men. They are God haters, which means they hate life, which means they hate themselves, which means they hate their children, which means they hate anything that they claim they love. If you hate God, you don't have no love for nobody. I'm sorry. You can lie to yourself. You can try to think you smart all you want. But when you hate God, you hate everything. And those people who say they hate God, you know what they doing behind the scenes. Make no mistake about it. Them are some dirty dudes. Brother tried to set me up one time with that. Tried to offer my baby mama money and them to lie and tell lies on me. And then when I came on his platform to confront it, he wouldn't let me speak because he tried to set up something separate from me so he could make money. No, you're not gonna play with my life, and you ain't gonna make money off my life like that. And and she was so stupid because she bitter and mad because of what I was doing and having success apart from her, even though she got all type of dudes she messing with. He tried to use that to try to get her to set me up type stuff. Like, bro, get up out of here. Because he was mad because I had bombed on him and let him know you a dirty, evil dude. And then he was actually backing this stuff. Oh yeah, we gonna talk about it. Because I'm gonna light them clowns up. No, look, they can't go there with me. I'm gonna light them clowns up. Okay? So let's go off into this, man. Let's look at this. First, we finna hear the raper, Sinetta's best friend. He knew all about this stuff. Don't let that man fool you. He knew about this. There's all type of proof that he knew about this. All of it out there. He finna try to clean it up now, try to act like he against them. Just fake after fake. So what you finna hear is him actually pleading and admitting to what he did to the young girl, Michael Noack, aka Brother Polight, who politely wormed his way into people's hearts, and these foolish, atheist, demonic, God-hating men like to embrace him to do nothing but rape. So we're going to listen to him. We're going to listen to the victim's mother speak, and we're going to break some of this stuff down. So let's listen to him admitting to what he did and taking the plea deal first. Let's listen to this.
Basis for this plea?
Yes.
And the court has reviewed the arrest affidavit, makes a finding that there is a factual basis for the plea. Mr. Noak, are there any witnesses or is there any evidence that you wanted your lawyer to investigate or me to receive before entering into this plea? No. All right. The court finds that the defendant understands the nature of the charges against him and the consequences of this plea, that he has been represented by competent and effective assistance of counsel with whom he says he is satisfied. I find the defendant has knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waived his rights. All statutory fines, court costs, and surcharges will be assessed. Counsel, do you waive PSI? Yes, Your Honor, waive PSI. Now, Mr. Noack, you do understand, as I mentioned to you before, that the state, as they had articulated earlier, you may be eligible for early termination as long as certain conditions are met. That means no violations. You've done everything that you were supposed to do. You've not been arrested for any criminal offense, and the state is in agreement with it as well as the court's ratification. On the other hand, sir, if you violate any terms and conditions of this probation, and that includes getting arrested for any other criminal offense, that you could be subject to the maximum period of time in prison, which by my calculations is 61 years state prison. You do understand that?
Yeah.
And knowing all of this, do you still wish to enter into this plea?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, right there, you just heard him. Knowing all the things that you could possibly face that could happen to you as a result of violating this plea agreement, do you still agree to issuing this plea? And you doing this on your own free will? He says yes. That's Michael Noack, brother Polight, taking the plea for molesting, assaulting, and violating this minor.
The court finds the defendant, as I mentioned before, understands the nature of the charges against him and the consequences of this plea, that he has been represented by competent and effective assistance of counsel with whom he says he is satisfied. I find the defendant has knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waived his rights. All statutory fines, court costs, and surcharges will be assessed. Is there anything further as it relates to Mr. Noak? I do have on the Zoom that the victim's mother wanted to address the court.
Correct. And Your Honor, nothing more from the state except to let Your Honor know if you can unmute the victim's mother, and she will be listed as victim Noack in the Zoom.
Now the victim's mother finna come up and speak. The victim's mother finna come up and speak. And there's some things I need to say to her too, because even though it's wrong or whatever, it's just some things as a mother and a woman you shouldn't have done.
Nope, sorry. You see when it says victim, nope.
Okay, yes, 1 second. All right, you may unmute, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, so what I'd like you to do is, well, you don't want to give your name. So at this point, just go ahead and you can give us an impact statement. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Michael Noack. This is the first time I have spoken publicly about what you've done to my daughter and I. I have gracefully remained silent the last 2.5 years. 2.5 years of pain, shock, disbelief, PTSD, constant nightmares, and daily triggers. Trying to help my daughter heal when I'm not even healed myself. What you have done to my daughter, myself, and my entire family is inexcusable. You hurt us all. You made me believe that you were such a great man and you could do no wrong.
She said, you made me believe you was a great man and you can do no wrong. You made me believe you were a great man and you could do no wrong. Okay, here's the thing. You are what? The 5th girlfriend now? He was already on record as having 4 wives. I'm pretty sure you knew about that. You the 5th one. So clearly this man has a problem sexually. Okay, that's clear. That's clear. So you women acting like concubines to this man. Okay? Y'all acting like concubines to this man. And we already know how he looked. He ugly as hell. So to some degree, let's just be real. I mean, I'm sorry. I just got to keep it real. It started out as a money thing, but you had a choice to make as a mother. And I do commend you on making the choice. You chose your daughter over the money when you seen that she was violated and taken advantage of and was hurt. But we know that in the beginning, it was a money thing. This dude ugly as hell, man. I'm just keeping it 100. And we know that's one of the reasons why he had them other wives. Because he had money. None of those women he messing with had money. Because if they had money, they definitely wouldn't have been with him, nor been allowing him to do the things he was doing. So as a result of his money, they accepted anything he wanted to do because of his position he was in, his connections financially, and his position that he had. That's just real. We ain't gonna sugarcoat that. We know that. He knew that. That's probably another reason why he didn't care to do the things he did. Because ain't no way you that damn ugly that now you get grown and now you get girls. No. He been rejected his whole life when he ain't had no money. Now they telling him he cute. Now they telling him he handsome. When he heard, boy, get your ugly ass away from me. He heard that his whole life. So he know it's a lie. And when guys grow up like that, when they put themselves in a position, I'm telling you what I know. When they put themselves in a position, this they way of wanting to get back of all the rejection that they went through their life. And I saw this happen many times. And he was no different. And he was no different. That's why he started using his psychology and studying and all these books and manipulating people and things like that, because he was isolated for being ugly when he was broke, which put him in a position to study and learn more because women wasn't into him. Then from that, he found out a hustle. He got money from the hustle. Then from the hustle, started making money, started getting involved with different women. Now he in a place of influence. Now women thinking he cute because he in a foreign car. He dressing nice. He around the celebrities. They mentioning his name. But let's not be ignorant here. You the 5th girlfriend. You probably the damn 10th. But just for argument's sake, you the 5th. This dude been a hypocrite to everything. This dude been with white women. This dude always talking about white folks, but then you see all type of things that he with white women. Transgenders and everything. Like, man, we not gonna play these games, man. But he got a F Jesus campaign. But that's why it's an F Jesus campaign, because he doing everything that the Bible tells us not to do. And because he's guilty of what the Bible telling us not to do, what he tried to create and what he did create was himself becoming an atheist to justify all the evils he was doing. So if he reject God, go against God, denounce Christ, then he wave or hold the banner of sin by which he indulges in, to the point of having no boundaries when going against God. That's what this dude was doing.
You made me fully trust you, and for that, my daughter trusted you too. You made me fully trust you, and for that, my daughter trusted you too.
She said, you made me fully trust you. How can you fully trust a man who hates God? That's crazy. Because 9 times out of 10, he wasn't. Let me tell you something. 9 times out of 10, if she was with him, everything he was saying against God, she was believing also. Because ain't no believing woman who loved God is going to be up under a man like this. And this man was very adamant. This man was very clear on where he stood when it came to God. So she's saying that she fully trusted a man who hated God. She fully trusted this man, knowing he already had 4 wives, and she was the so-called 5th. Knowing he got a sexual condition. That's all that means. That's all that means. He can't be satisfied. And you fully trust him with your underage daughter. No, I'm sorry, mama. I'm sorry, mama. It's just things you just don't do as a mother. When your children are underage and they are minors, it is your responsibility to protect them no matter what. You do not allow your boyfriends or a nigga you screwing, you don't give him access to your underage children no matter what he say to you, because they're not his.
Like, hold on a second, man. Wait, where my damn gavel at?
Here, take it. Take it. Bang the gavel on your damn self.
Don't worry. I'll do it for you.
No. No. Man, get out of here with crazy. You just don't do that, man.
But the truth is, you're a monster, a demon. The very first time that I allowed you to be alone with my daughter, the very first time, and you couldn't even help yourself.
Okay, now she acknowledging what she always knew. So even when hearing this man campaign going up against God, she knew it. Her spirit told her. She rejected what the spirit was telling her and still allowed. As a result of being now under his radar, knowing his financial position. Even though, in her defense, I'm pretty sure she didn't think he would do this to her child. So she was more so focusing on just her to some degree. But she called him a demon. And now she admitting his sexual problems that she once again knew he had. If anybody with common sense knew he had to have sexual problems before she started messing with him. Look at what she said. She said, you couldn't help. The very first time I trusted you and left you alone with my daughter, you couldn't help yourself. So she very aware of his sexual demons and what he do. She noted. She now given a confession of what she was already warned in the spirit. She was already warned in the spirit. Look, this is a confession. Listen to what she's saying.
But the truth is, you're a monster, a demon. The very first time that I allowed you to be alone with my daughter, the very first time, and you couldn't even help yourself.
See that? Now, look what she said. But the truth is, now she want to tell the truth. Now, the truth is, you are a monster. Then she gives him another title, a demon. Why she said demon? Because he had this smear campaign to go against Jesus called F Jesus. And we know that demons are the enemies of God. So she put herself in a relationship with a man who she knew hated God, with a man who she knew had a sexual problem, only for what she knew to actually happen to her once she dropped her guards again. The moment she let down her guards, already knowing who she was set up for destruction. And now, after he violates your daughter, after he violates you, now you come to your senses. And that's the danger in these things. That's the danger in these things. Why do it always come down to that when you already was warned before that?
You told me you was going to be right back. You were going downstairs. We were going to grab food and take vacation pictures. You told me that you wanted to have a one-on-one talk with her about loving and respecting me as a great mother that I was and am. And I actually believed you. I believed that you were going to bring her right back.
So he asked, could he take her to go talk to her about being loving and kind and respectable to a mother? Because remember, he's an influencer, okay? He mentor a lot of people, even in battle rap. He was mentoring B-Dot. He was mentoring Lux. He was mentoring Hollow. He was mentoring Daylight. He's a mentor. So this is what I do. So let me just take your daughter away from you for a bit. We finna go take some pictures while we on vacation. While we going to take some pictures, I'm just gonna talk to her about y'all relationship being better. Plus you my woman now. So since I'm the man in her life now, she need to get familiar with me. Here goes some money. Gonna order you something. We'll be right back. Yeah. And he took her daughter away. And then went to another hotel. Called itself, watch this.
I thought you were going to have this trusting conversation with her that you promised me. Her and I both trusted you. For a grown man to violate a child who trusted him, you should be ashamed of yourself.
See, a child underage don't stand a chance against a man. She don't stand a chance. She don't stand a chance. You don't put a 13-year-old girl under the trust of a 30-year-old man, a 40-year-old man. She's not going to stand a chance. Mentally wise, she's not going to stand a chance. And you steady saying, I trusted you. That's where you go wrong at. As a mother, you cannot trust. You cannot trust a man with your underage daughter that is not her biological father. I'm sorry. A lot of you women do that trash. A lot of you women do that trash. You cannot trust that. You have an obligation as a mother. Those are the lines and boundaries you do not cross. That's the difference when the girl becomes an adult. Now she somewhat is responsible for herself. But while she is a minor, you do not trust your underage daughter in the hands of a man that is not her biological father.
You plotted on me and my little girl. The entire time you knew what you planned to do. Isolate, intoxicate, then violate my baby.
See, now there go all the truth. Now when it happened, she go back and look at things that she's reminded of. Now she's seeing all the signs. That's why she say, wow, you were setting me up the whole time. Because she, now, over and over again, she playing this back in her mind. And she's seeing the signs she was ignoring. Like times she would get into it with her daughter and then say things, and then he'll step in and be like, no, don't be too rough on her. Come on, calm down, mama, calm down. Don't do that. Now she's seeing what that was meaning. That was to get the young girl attention for him to look like a protector for her over her mother. Or all the time, mama be walking around the house and then he right there beside her or something, he say a joke about her mama. Like, girl, look at your little nappy head self. Like, girl, to get the daughter to laugh at the mama because her and the mama had eyes with each other. So if he said a joke against the mama, then he nudged the daughter, then the daughter laughed because she had eyes with the mama. So he steady trying to show the daughter, I got your back, when in reality, this is him working on her. But he was still so damn ugly that when he took the girl to the hotel, she still didn't want to talk to him. The young girl still didn't want nothing to do with him. To the point he had to drug her with sex drugs to get it. His game didn't work. None of that knowledge, none of that philosophy, none of that mentoring. It didn't work on the little girl. She didn't want nothing to do with him sexually until he drugged her with date rape drugs. That's when he got it. Apart from that, she wasn't going for it.
Shame on you. I trusted you to bring her right back. You were supposed to bring her back the same way that you took her. Instead, you drugged her and took advantage of her. You sexually abused her. You forced alcohol down her throat. You then forced her to see things that no child should ever have to see. You forced her to feel things that no child should have to feel. You forced her to accept violence that no child should ever have to endure.
Facts.
You forced drugs in her that no human should ever even ingest.
Facts. And that girl was little. That girl was real little. That girl is little. That girl had to be maybe 100 pounds. Maybe. That girl is little. That girl was going to die in that hotel room. Literally die in that hotel room. He had to stick his fingers down her throat after he was done violating her over and over again because she was non-responsive. She was unresponsive. He drugged her up so bad she couldn't even feel his penis in her. He drugged her up and messed her up so bad, even when he brought her back home to the mama, she still was messed up. The size was, let's let the mama say.
She's my child. My baby. How could you? How could you? You could have killed her with all the drugs that were found in her system.
Damn.
You thought your master plan was mapped out perfectly, huh? You thought I'd be dumb enough to believe you over my child. And you thought that money would blind me.
See, right there. You thought that the money would blind me. You wanted to violate my daughter. Then you tried to bring her back to me. You thought that I was going to take the money bribe over justice for my daughter. And that's when the mother kicked in. Now, I'm not going to say this woman, look, some women just naive to different things, man. They are. Some women are naive to different things. Some women feel, like she said, the first time I allowed you to be alone with her, you did this. Apart from that, I was sheltering her because I know she a young girl. But since we were together and I believed you loved me because you said you loved me, and sometimes, and when you having sex, it may have started out about the money, but once you start letting the guy have sex with you, pounding on you, feelings develop, especially for women that's created to be more emotionally. She started feeling for him, so she let her guard down. She living comfortable, ain't got to worry about bills, ain't got to worry about food, ain't got to worry about clothes, hair done. So she believes she hit a lick. Let's just be honest. When all along, he was working on the whole house because that's what dudes with money believe. They like to test how far the money can go when gaining levels of power. But her motherly instincts kicked in when she saw her daughter had been violated. And then her love for him was also betrayed. So both those were working against him. Seeing that she was enraged of the betrayal, that he was sleeping with somebody else, and it just so happened to be her daughter, which lit a different fuse of rage in her. And seeing your daughter hurt, again, the motherly instinct kicked in. Let me show you how she saw her daughter. This is what made her really pissed.
You thought I was going to be so blinded that I wouldn't notice when you returned her with bruises all over her body and her mouth busted, uncontrollably shaking. Absolutely not.
You returned her with bruises all over her body, shaking uncontrollably, and her mouth busted. That's crazy. So he was sexually assaulting her and physically hitting her because she was out of it. That drug was out of it. And then he was on drugs his damn self. And those demon spirits he allowed in his life as a result of going against God was using him. But at the same time, God's wrath was coming upon him. Look at that. All that going against God. And now, look at you now. Look at you now. A evil, wicked, corrupted, dirty, filthy man. All them that be going against Jesus, every last one of them, they got something sort of like this in their background. Make no mistake about it. They can lie on these cameras. They can make it seem as though they stand up. Let me tell you something. Don't believe this brother talk they do. Hey, brother. Hey, sisters. Don't believe that trash. They not your brothers. They not your sisters. Anytime they're trying to turn you away from Jesus Christ, they have no love and respect for you at all. Because that's the only way you can be saved from sin. That's the only way you can fight off the devil. That's the only way you are liberated. Apart from that, you have none. You have none. The freedom we have right now in the United States didn't come from Kemet, didn't come from the conscious community, didn't come from the Hebrew Israelites, didn't come from the Muslims. It came from the Christians, the abolitionists, who went forth in the spirit of the living God to put their life on the line, that we are liberated in the United States of America. The only war they got on record, these white folks are going against each other, was for the freedom of black folks, led by the Christian abolitionists and born again Bible believers. Not the Muslims, not the Hebrew Israelites, not the conscious community, not the Kemets. While they got these Christ smearing campaigns, it was only in the spirit of Christ by which we were liberated. Do not allow these people to lie to y'all. They are nothing but demons, devils, and liars. They don't care about themselves. They don't care about themselves because they already on the way to hell. Sonetta, you knew about all this. You are a dirty, evil, wicked, shameful, money-hungry man. You'll do anything for money and sex. You are a wicked, corrupt dude. You knew about all this. Now you're trying to act like you didn't. Now you're trying to make it seem as though, boy, get up out of here. Get up out of here. Let's go to God mocking this clown. Let me show y'all something. These dudes is terrible, man. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Like, hold on a second, man. Wait, where my damn gavel at?
Here, take it. Take it. Bang the gavel on your damn self.
Don't worry. I'll do it for you. No. No, 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 no. Man, get out of here with that trash, man. You always losing.
Now, he had all that stuff to talk about God. Okay. Disrespecting Jesus. Okay. Let's see what the raper man was doing. Watch this.
This is what I want them to hear. This is powerful. They follow a God. We can't do our conference because people are dying. So that means people are dying on God's watch. So, why should I believe in him? When is God going to save our people?
Now, let me just show you. They call this knowledge. They call this knowledge. They call this popping the truth. This is the stuff he was doing, calling mentoring. This is all the popularity and influence he had of people thinking he was some wise man. He said, when is God going to save our people? Our people is dying on his watch. People been dying ever since sin entered into the world. God ain't never stopped saving. God saves even when you don't know God saving. You are a human being. You only in one place at one time. The area you in, you can't see outside of it. How are you to try to put a case on God as being immortal? And if God did what you wanted him to do, he wouldn't be God. And you wouldn't be you right now today. You are the result of what God allowed. You idiot. This is what I mean by people is stupid. He thinks he's smart. Why God didn't stop it? Didn't stop it. Well, if he would have stopped it when you wanted him to, you wouldn't even be here. Okay, let's take a walk. When Satan went against God, when the angel Lucifer went against God and became Satan, I got to put y'all up on game. Should God ended it right then? Because that's when sin first happened, when Lucifer went against God. That was the introduction to sin in creation. So should have God stopped it right then and there? Because if you say yes, then you're not here. You are the result of the fall. Satan sinned. God gave him a judgment day by which he would be sentenced. He deceived Eve in the garden, which led to them being removed, and you became the result of that. Should God have stopped it during slavery? Like you say. But what's retarded about them, they only date slavery during the European slave trade. They don't know that ever since it's been sin, it always been slavery. They only focus on the European slave trade and try to document that as being the worst slave trade ever, when in reality it's not. It always been the Islamic slave trade that goes under the radar that people never talk about. And even when dealing with the European slave trade, it's still the Arabs' hands were still heavily involved in that, and where they got the majority of all them slaves from. They sweep that under the rug. They never bring that. They never mention that. That's what I mean by deception. That's what I mean by ignorance. But guess what? If that would have been ended then, you still don't be here. Why do I say that? We are the makeup of our mother and father. For instance, my mother and father were born in Chicago, Illinois, not in Egypt, not in Ethiopia, not in Israel, not in Afghanistan, but Chicago, Illinois. I don't exist without them two. My mama with another man don't make me. My father with another woman don't make me. I am the makeup of my mother and father that was born in Chicago that came together. But leave it up to you and your intelligence, thinking you so smart. If God would have just ended it all back then, we would be all right. No, idiot, you wouldn't even exist. That's what's wrong with you, thinking you smart when you're really stupid. But it sounds intelligent to people who don't know nothing. You was considered to be intelligent to ignorant niggas who didn't know nothing. That's who your supporters were. Ignorant niggas following the lead of a God-hating rapist. What are we doing? Come on, man. Oh, I'm so glad I know the truth. Let's listen to some more of this clown.
See, I can't be believing in no crazy shit like that because they've been selling this to us for years. So they made me atheist. Hebrew Israelites made me atheist. Christians made me an atheist. Muslims made me an atheist because they sold me on a half-truth. That's what they did. They sold me on a half-truth.
So any religion that believes in God made him an atheist, even though he himself would not humble himself to go before God, to hear from God, to know who God is. You know why? See, when he make things like that, this man ain't being honest. He trying to make it seem as though he want to know who God is. And I made it my business to seek God, only for my prayers to go unanswered, only for him not to hear me. So he want to break God down as a man. He want God to kneel before him. But this is all a lie, even worse. What he is a man that's powered with many sins who reject God as a result of God hating the sins that he's involved in. We see that clear now. We see that clear now. He been raping and molesting and plotting and scheming, summoning demons and evil spirits. The ancestors. That's demonic. That's satanic. Your ancestors were demon and devil worshippers, you idiot. Worshipping birds and animals and wolves and alligators and cats and dogs. Egyptian. Did you not know that? Drinking blood. Practicing homosexuality. That didn't come from the white man. They be trying to say that white man invented homosexuality. That's not true. That's not true. White man invented bestiality. That's not true. Let me open your eyes. It came from black folks. White folks come from black folks. Black folks don't come from white folks. White folks come from black folks. That's genetically facts and proof. Which means before they even came from us, we was already doing it. We was already involved in it. We was already involved in it. We was already doing it. Liars. Liars. But they paint the picture narrative any way they want to spin it to make you believe whatever they want you to believe. Come on, we're not going to play these games. You ready, sis? We're going to listen to some more of this trash. Hold on. Listen to some more of this God-hating evil man.
And the more they perpetuate this half-truth, the more unconvincing the story becomes. So there's an all-knowing God who, for whatever reason, hasn't decided after the 1,200 years from the Arab slave trade, after the 400 plus years of the European enslavement, near 2 millennia, we had.
Okay, see how far his slavery go? See how far slavery go there? 400 years European, 1,200 years transatlantic. see how far his slavery go? That's when slavery started. That's when slavery started. See what I mean? Like, come on. This is what I mean by you trying to be smart, right? But guess what? The all-knowing God always had us here to make a difference. Always had us here to make a difference. God don't have to police us. God don't have to police us. God never did police us. We always had the choice to either stand up for truth or do the opposite. when you look at history, guess who being delivered? Everybody that's standing up for truth. Everybody, truth don't always win, like it always does. You're looking at the evils and trying to look at it as if God is abandoned. No. The evils is the conditions by which sin and those who partake in it is actually feeling the result of. But the moment you make up in your mind to stand for truth, then you see the evidence of righteousness and how impactful it can be in the hands of one who believes. So get up out of here with these lies, trying to put a light on sin and then say it's from God. No, because God ain't raping, God ain't shooting, God ain't stealing, God ain't killing, God ain't hating, God ain't racist, God ain't homosexual. You talking about actions of men, then you blaming God for the actions of men. What are you talking about?
But even still, even though God didn't do none of those things, he still made a way and redeemed us 2,000 years ago. So he already answered for those things. Those are unforeseen sins that people were going to commit. He already made a way. He already has an answer.
Right. So we're not going to play these games. We're not going to play these games. He thinking he kicking knowledge. Boy, please. This ain't no knowledge. You wicked, evil, slimy dude. You just in a position of influence with money and a camera in your face to do like any other atheist, non-believer, hating, demonic person. Rage a war on God to put yourself in the place of God so that people can listen to you rather than God. Only for you to mislead them and lead them down the wrong path because you're under the influence of the devil, but thinking it's actually coming from your own self. Get up out of here.
To undergo incapacitated, and still they believe in this God. And for some reason, they make excuses for why God suggests to us that we must endure during these hard times that they profess that we're living in to this day. Why?
Okay, what do it mean to endure? When God tells us to endure, God is telling us to endure because we live in a world of sin we live in a world of sin that's going to be here. We endure not because we allow people to oppress us or hurt us. We endure understanding the conditions we in as a result of sin, by which we understand and knowing the truth how this all plays out. So we endure to the end because we know that evil don't win. We know that good will always win. We know that darkness don't conquer the light. We endure in the truth by which we know, standing in God who bless us through whatever crisis and situation this world go through. So stop with all this brainwashing techniques. That stuff don't work on us. It don't work on people who know the truth, you idiot. Trying to make it seem like, so God wants us to endure. He wants us to allow people to hurt us, allow people to mistreat us, allow people to abuse us, to endure the hardship and punishment of people. Man, get up out of here with that lie. Just twisting things to try to work on people's minds to make them think differently of God, as though God is not delivering, as though God is not empowering, or though God is not uplifting and helping and positioning people and men and women of power that's shaking this world and making the difference that the media don't cover and the news don't put on channels that's going on all over the world. Man, get out of here.
Do you or anyone else believe in God at this point? It's a lie. It's obviously a lie. Unless you're telling me someone who cared that much about my race doesn't think 1,600 years is enough of oppression.
He said he oppressed. He rich, got all type of foreign cars, eating all type of exotic food, laughing, smiling, sex with all these girls, drinking, smoking as he please and choose, and he trying to sell us oppression. He trying to sell us oppression. Wearing all type of designer clothes, got all type of relationship with celebrities. You trying to sell us oppression.
Like, hold on a second, man. Wait, where my damn gavel at? Here, take it. Take it. Bang the gavel on your damn self. Don't worry. I'll do it for you. No. No, 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 no. No. Man, get out of here with that trash, man. You always losing.
What, we got to do one more year? 10 more years? How much more years do we have to go with this all-knowing God who made us his chosen children of Israel, and all we have to do is believe in him or believe in Yahweh, bin Yahushua, or believe in Christ? How many more years do we got to believe in this nigga before we see some fucking results?
Right. We see results everywhere. You are, again, the product of the results. Again, you in the United States doing all this talking. How was the United States liberated and freed? Through the Christian abolitionist movement, you idiot. He had a thing where he was talking about Harriet Tubman and how good she did for the black race and freeing the black slaves. Again, idiot, Harriet Tubman was a slave, but who actually was a Christian slave, who followed the lead of Jesus Christ, by which she documented, recorded, let it be known as a Christian. She heard from God, the Lord Jesus Christ, who moved her to actually be the reason why all these slaves were freed. So guess what? That is all you have to do. All you have to do is believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. In believing in the Lord Jesus Christ, you begin to take the mind of Christ. Having the mind of Christ give you the courage to stand on truth, to actually walk out on faith, to be a shaker of these generations, to make a difference in life by which people are liberated. And this is all through history, you idiot. All you got to do is go through history. Look at all the powerful men and women of history. That's what you start finding out, that they was believers in Jesus Christ.
Facts.
Have you ever did that history? While you doing all that talking? Man, get out of here.
See, that's why I'm an atheist. I have to be that. It's someone who doesn't believe in God or gods. You say anything outside of that, I want to see the definition so I can be clear to stand on it.
No, you are atheist because you are a rapist. You rape little children. You con people. You deceive and lead others to destruction. You are a liar. You are responsible for the deaths and murders of many our black people, our people, because you persuade them to not trust in Jesus Christ, which means they die in their sins against Christ, only to now have to answer for their sins before Christ to be found guilty in the court of God. So congratulations, you murdering, hating, lying rapist. This is why you are atheist. This is why you are atheist. Not because of God, but because of your sins that you know God don't approve of. And since you know God don't approve of your rape you enjoy, your stealing you enjoy, your adultery and fornication you enjoy, you become an atheist hoping that that will help your mind to continue in the practices of it. That's what that means. That's what an atheist means. Anybody who tell you they're atheists, Sinette and them, all these people who are against Christ, that's because they want to do bad and evil. That's what it means when you go against Jesus. That means you're taking a stand for sin. You have private, public, or private sin going on that you don't want to give up, that God don't approve of. So your escape is rejecting the one who is the enemy of sin, Jesus Christ. That's what it is.
All right.
Get out of here with this fake knowledge. You want to say something on that, sis?
No, we're good.
But I have to be an atheist at this particular point because God has not delivered. And if I told you that you can come to my school, and when you come to my school, what's going to happen is you can get a degree. And when you get that degree, you can get a job. And now what happens when you make the sacrifice and you stay in a school system for 4 to 7 years? You get your degree, you got your certification, but the only thing you can do is get a job at Kinko's printing paper. Do you now believe in the school system after that? No. Would anybody get mad at you for saying that they didn't deliver? No. They would say, I understand, brother. They promised you something in exchange. You wanted that which they promised you in return. But
You sound stupid and retarded. Oh, I go to school and I get these college degrees and then I can't find a job. I can only work at Kinko's, even though I have these college degrees. Listen, man, this is what I mean. They was buying this trash. This was they motivational speaker convincing you that you can go to college and get all these diplomas and masters and only to get a job at Kinko's in the United States of America. Man, come on, man. These people are terrible, man. Come on, sis. Like, come on, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here, man?
But actually, after all the years you invested into school, your time, your energy, and your money, after you invested your time, energy, and money, you got nothing in exchange. And now no one's going to get mad at you because they'll say, you know what? They didn't deliver. So how come we can't do that with God? When they tell me about God, the only thing they can deliver is speculation. They can deliver me to heaven, but I don't know. No one's coming back from heaven and testing to this shit. But hey, albeit for me to be a pessimist, show me something that God has given us in return for the belief in him.
Okay. Show me something that God has given me for the belief in him. That's what he said. Okay. Well, there's many things that God has given us, even if we don't believe in him or not. The whole planet we live on was given to us by God. We know that man didn't make it. We know man didn't create it. The water you drink comes from God. Can you create water? No. Can you create trees? No. Can you create animals? No. Can you create air? No. Everything was already provided for us by God before we even knew who he was. He was already here. You came into a planet already ready to provide. Already ready to provide. Adam and Eve was created last. The earth was already ready to provide for them in their creation. You didn't have to believe. It was already here. Hold on, but wait. What is more evidence of God? I am a testimony of God. I've been saved and changed as a result of my belief in him. My belief in him moved me to be a better father, a better man, a better business person. My belief in him put me in a position to be successful in life. So the evidence of God is the change of lives that he changing all over the world by the billions who believe in him. Right. That my woman wasn't able to do, that my children wasn't able to do, that I didn't want to even do myself. Did you not know that also? Those who fully put their trust in God didn't even want to. Did you not know that? We don't choose the life of worshiping and believing in him. Did you not know that? I used to hate him. Didn't want nothing to do with him. And yet now I can't do without him. What are you talking about? Evidence. The evidence all around you, clown. You just ain't trying to look. And I love the fact, sis, that we live in this day and age where everything is proven. The Bible already been proven to be a reliable source from God. We got all type of historical findings proving everything that the Bible said is true. We got people that's documented throughout history that they actually found that's not even recorded nowhere but in the Bible. Like, there was no person on this earth called Caiaphas. That name was only written in the Bible, only for them to now find the tomb of Caiaphas. Pontius Pilate. They found his tomb too. You don't have no historical record really of Pontius Pilate outside of the Bible. That's where it's first documented. And now they found his tomb too. Just so much evidence over and over and over again. But if a person want to be in unbelief, they just want to be in unbelief. We have no excuse now not to know, not to trust, not to believe when all these things have already been proven now. So come on, man.
Show me. You can't show me 10 people who want to believe that God is down with them, because 10 years from now, when they feel the religion is faulty, they'll be in another religion. So let's be for real. Show me an absolute where we.
He said, you can't show me 10 people that really love God because 10 years from now, they'll be in a different religion. See, he just talking. This is what I mean by you just talking. You sound stupid. You just talking. Y'all brothers who be flip-flopping doing that type of stuff because y'all don't know the truth. And you reject the truth, so you're trying to find something to satisfy you, but nothing can satisfy you but Jesus Christ. You're going to keep looking for a fix somewhere else. It ain't going to help. Look at you. You thought, look at you. It never satisfied you. You have how many wives? 4. So 1 wife couldn't satisfy you. 2 wives couldn't satisfy you. 3 wives couldn't satisfy you. 4 wives couldn't satisfy you. Then your 5th girl, you raped her daughter. So you can't be satisfied. You know why? Because you don't know who Christ is. You don't have a relationship with Jesus. And because you don't have a relationship with Jesus, guess what? You have given yourself over to the enemy. And everywhere and everything you try to do, nothing can satisfy you. Money can't satisfy you. Drugs can't satisfy you. Liquor can't satisfy you. Popularity can't satisfy you. Sex can't satisfy you. Because when God created us, that empty space he left inside of us, it's for him to fill. And when he don't feel that, you have no satisfaction. And what happens is you trying to find it in everything else other than him, and nothing can satisfy you. We was made for God's glory. That's the connection of you being content and fulfilled when you allow him to fill that void. Apart from that, you're going to keep on trying to try things. You're going to keep on trying to get involved in things. And your flesh is going to continue to be out of control.
Yep. Because
your spirit is not connected with God, our Lord Jesus Christ. Come on now.
We know once I start believing in God, because the same Negroes getting at me saying Polight don't believe in God, they are in different organizations, not the same organization. Why did they God do that? Well, how am I supposed to believe in God and the Negroes propagating knowledge about God can't even remain organized? How come they are in different factions trying to give you the impression that something good is going on, where if it was that good, they would be under the same umbrella. They would not be in different factions or different sects. If they was reading from a book other than the Bible, I wouldn't mind if they had different organizations. But if they're all reading the same book made by the man that made the sun, moon, and the stars, how can they impress upon my mind that I need to subscribe to that one God with the multiple factions? How does that make sense? All of them are actually atheists, if you ask me. They can't possibly believe in God. Because if they believed in God, they would be in one order, on one accord. If they believed in God, they'd be in under one umbrella in one organization. All of them are atheists. If anybody is more spiritual, it's everybody else who has come to the conclusion that God doesn't exist, because a big part of spirituality is common sense. And once you lose common sense, you lose the sense of spirituality.
Okay, now look how ignorant that was. He said the conclusion is to come with the common sense that God don't exist. So he said it's common sense that God don't exist. It's common sense. Common sense. God don't exist. Even though, again, everything this world provides for us, man has no hand in. Man has no food, no hand in the air, food, water we breathe. Air, food, look, have no hand in the air, no hand in the water, no hand in the food. But it's common sense God don't exist. Even though man can't create. Man can't create. God created everything from nothing. From nothing, God made everything. Okay, so if God made everything from nothing, how can man create and make? Man have to take what God already made and create to actually make something. Man cannot create without nothing. Man have to take the dirt what God did and do something. He had to take the fruit. He had to take the water. He got to take in order to make that what God already created. God create, man make. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So when he's talking and saying, if you notice also, according to him, he viewed God based upon man.
So if we doing all this wrong and wreaking havoc and doing all this, God is to blame. Well, it can't be a God. Malachi shot somebody. It can be a God. Jessica sell her body. It can't be a God. Jacob sold dope. It can be a God. Huh?
Uh-huh.
Really? Well, why God ain't stop Malachi from selling dope? Why God ain't stop such and such from getting shot? Why God ain't stop the slave master from getting the slave? How could he be God watching all this happen? How could we be men watching all this happen? How could we be men watching all this happen? How is the world controlled in places? Governments, right? Governments. Men correcting and policing men. Look at our United States government. What keeps this country in check? The government, the people. Let you do something wrong, brother Polight, and them police call. You going to jail. God don't have to come down and stop that. You're going to jail. God ain't got to come down and stop that. They think God got to pop up every time somebody do something wrong. Like, who did that? Who did that? Oh, here I come. I'm on my way down. Why did you do that? Oh, wait, somebody just did something in Africa. Oh, I'll be back like Flash. Oh, what you do? Oh, wait, what they just do in Russia? I'll be back. Hey, what y'all doing? No, you ain't finna drive me crazy. Y'all got a simple condition, okay? Those who won't help, get help, okay? Those who want to change is for you. What is he talking about? What all that knowledge is done for you? Okay, you got the answer. You got the solution. You know how things should work. Okay, why haven't it worked for you? Where is this gathering, uplifting of revolution, and why it ain't working for you? Since y'all got the answers, okay, God ain't the answer. So the answer is self-help. The answer is coming together and brothers and sisters to unite as one. Okay, how that's been working for you? How that's been working for you? Oh, oppression. Okay, how have that stopped your oppression, millionaire? The millionaire talking about he oppressed. Like, oh,
right.
Well, now you in prison, 7 years for raping a 13-year-old. Right. And giving her sex, drug, date rape. He on your Bill Cosby, black man. Right. He want everybody to follow him. And he raping young girls. Almost killing them. Want the sex so bad, he willing to kill her for it. And Sarnetta, you was covering from him. You was covering for him. Now since he gone, you trying to collect off of him. Like, boy, get out of here. We ain't gonna play the games. Oh yeah, I'm gonna light you up, player. Make no mistake about it. Anything you want to say on this before we get up out of here, sis?
No. Justice prevails. He's saying God's not answering. Justice prevails, and he was found guilty. And so, yeah, people got to critically think of who they're deciding to come up under. Every human being is guilty of sin. So why put your trust in beliefs in a person when you have God? When you have a perfect person that lived a perfect life to follow. Nobody can do better than Jesus. Think critically.
And this the same thing Unbiased was doing. The same thing he was doing. Look, this is the same thing happening in the Unbiased case right now. All the way up to Unbiased sentencing. I mean, all the way up to Brother Polight sentencing. He like, I didn't do that. They lying on me. I didn't take no plea. I didn't accept no plea deal. I didn't do that to that girl. I didn't do all that. Brothers number. Brothers number. Allowing him to just go through it. Then when it's time for his sentencing date, he took that plea. Now he apprehended, locked up now. They like, man, he lied. He did do that. Now he can't hear nothing you saying. Now Y'all, they want to confront him before he left. Same thing with them. I didn't do that. They lying. I didn't do that. I didn't do none of this stuff, man. Oh yeah, they lying. Just so you can continue to stay around, continue to game, continue to build up, continue to be accepted. Like, and then guess what's gonna happen when he sits us in and apprehended? Now everybody want to do unbiased blogs. Oh man, I knew it. Yeah, I just didn't want to say nothing, man. You know it. Like, boy, get out of here. Get out of here. Same old thing. This the same old thing. The only difference is Brother Polight ain't go to trial. Brother Polight, he took a plea deal. He got them lawyers to get him. He like, look, I already know I'm out of here. I'll take the 7. Okay, I'll take the 7. Give me the 7 years in prison, because I know I'm guilty. Oh, the lady already let it be known. Look, DNA don't lie. Chris, DNA don't lie. You out of there. But I see Chris looked at his situation different. We got the paperwork saying that Chris was offered plea deals. He turned the plea deal down. But you got to remember, Brother Polight got 1 victim. Chris got 4. So his plea deal is entirely different than Brother Polight plea deal. You see that? They offered Brother Polight, they gave him 17 years. 7 in, 10 out. That's with 1 victim. Chris got like 4. His plea deal entirely different.
Oh, yeah.
And he's 50 years old. So he was like, hell, man, I can't do 20 years. I'm going to be 70. I'm going to do 7. Y'all can't give me 10. They like, no, we're not giving you 10 years. You raped 3 women. You got 6 felony rapes on you. No, you passed 10-year plea deal. 20, 30 or better, okay?
Right.
That's all we can give you. Or life in jail. However you want it. Life in jail, or you take this 20, 30. That man was like, well, I'm going to die anyway. I'm 50. I'm already 50. I can't do 20, 30 more years. So guess what? Hopefully I can get off on a technicality. If I can find some loophole through this paperwork my lawyer's been working on, like he's been trying over and over and over and over again, maybe I could get out of this, or maybe I could stretch it as long as I could. Yeah, it's over now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it is what it is, sis.
All right.
Anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
No, that's it.
That's it?
Yes.
One thing I respect about Battle Truth, and I will say this. When I got locked up, he said I was guilty. When I was in jail 1 year, he said I was guilty. When I was in jail 2 years, he said I was guilty. When he heard I was coming out, he said I was guilty. When I got out, he said I was guilty. And even right now, he said he kept the same energy.